Number two, as we step into it, is adult learning theory, frameworks for the win. So building frameworks. And what's a framework? Today's training is literally a 9-part framework. And this is built on adult learning theory. Thank you, Brennan, for helping me understand that back in 2017. The biggest thing, and even AI, and I'll link to this as part of today's training, even AI said, here's how you want to teach this, and it lived into adult learning theory basics. First, you deepen and reiterate why. Give them the perspective of this. We think we've done a really great job of that. Our perspective is to serve the world somehow, be clear on our outcomes, their outcomes, and even world outcomes based on what we do. That's the big picture. As we break it down, we go in from adult learning theory, big picture perspective, into specific training. Each piece of the training, there's 7 steps plus a bonus. Each piece of the training is its own entity, and it can be clipped by itself, important for a little later, and that training can stand alone. That piece, we just covered part 1, that can be clipped out, put up online, and it has enough meat, illustration, training, and challenge in it that it can serve people just by itself. That's kind of a level of mastery for you there. I always teach TSTC. In that training, we did a topic, let your why fly. We did illustrations and stories tied to it. I shared a story about that. We taught on that. Define your why, sensorially articulate your why. Here's how, here's the technique. And then we challenged you on it. T, topic. S, story illustration. T, training. C, challenge. TSTC. Is that helpful? So, frameworks for the win. 7 steps, plus a bonus, plus the action list. Part 1, the next 8, basically, and then the last piece is the action list. It's pretty much a 10-part framework. 1 plus 8 is 9, and the action list is 10. And it's really mission critical, and this is what I learned that I wasn't doing real well before I learned adult learning theory, to end with specific next steps. That's why ever since, I think it's season 2, might be the middle of season 1, I've had an action list for us. Sometimes I call that tactics that you can march forward with. And we spend some time at the end of every session going over that. So if you really want to break down a framework for you, think of it like this. Inside 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we chose 60 minutes. We're going to shoot big picture perspective on why what we're going to teach is important. Then we're going to go through teachable points. Every teachable point is going to have a story or illustration. It's going to have some training with it, like how to do it, and it's going to challenge you. I didn't do challenge real well before I learned high performance, by the way. I wouldn't have added that to my training curriculum. That'll land. Finally, as part of that framework, we're going to give you a hot action list. Things you can do immediately to step forward. Is that helpful? So what my challenge for you is to think about your version of our framework. Big picture perspective under the ambition line. Here's the big ambition line. Here's the specific thing that pushes towards that. The big ambition line is business-centered AI mastery. Video mastery, my 7 steps to purposeful growth, lives into that theme. Here's the breakdown for it. So we have the big picture. We have the specific training with illustration. We have some helpful hint information. We'll go over that in a minute. Then we have our specific action list. So that's the way that I think about it. Up until the last few seasons, I actually split out our training so that we did the why work, the training work, and then the action list, and there are 3 different parts in the training. But it became too hard to manage, and it was kind of chunky in terms of what should I watch first, even though it was in order. So I just kept it all in one as we moved into season 6, I think it was. And that's the essence of adult learning theory. It's so much, you can get so much more deep with it, but that's the essence of it. Is that helpful? We really want to make sure we're landing this for you as we step through this together.